guess who got 10 shots
Just saying shit to you so much, and then,
then
you kind of like
lock it out.
you can't hear it anymore.
and we're not like big legendary bands like Body Slam, Potato, Big Ass. We're not like that. We don't really have much of a choice. Like we don't have a choice. ไปมูมาแบบไป
ไปบอล
Oh, really?
ไปบอลเนี่ยไปบอล
So whatever it takes.
Okay, if you're that Tanjai, can you give me like one hit? 6 months later, it happens. That was about Sir Alex Ferguson, the Manchester United manager. It runs in the
Right.
blood.
Having all the money in the world doesn't help you to have a hit song. Where do you see yourself in this music industry? ไม่ต้องมีที่ให้อยู่หรอกแต่แค่แบบมีเราอยู่ในวงการเนี้ยก็พอ
Yeah.
That's deep.
This is Comedy Featuring. My name is Vic and welcome to the show. Comedy วันนี้เสนอคำว่า oxymoron. You guys know what it is? Okay, so actually, even though you don't know what it means, but I'm sure you have heard or even used some of these without knowing what it's called. So it's the use of two words together, two contrasting or two contradictory words together to form a new word that gives a special effect in meaning. So for example, like old news. So is it old or is it news? But actually old news refers to someone who's used to be hot, used to be popular, used to be so good or influential, but not so much anymore. So she's an old news. He's an old news. Or act naturally. So you want me to be natural or you want me to pretend or to act? But act naturally actually means like don't be suspicious. Yeah, อย่ามีพิรุธประมาณนั้น So it's fun, it's clever, isn't it? Actually, the word oxymoron itself is an oxymoron. So oxy in Greek means sharp and moron, also Greek, means dull or foolish. So oxymoron, sharp dullness. Very clever. And you know what? Some people are awfully good at this oxymoron thing. They use the whole concept to create their music or to write their songs. And the songs got so popular and they become known for it. And actually the name of the band has become synonymous with the name, with the word oxymoron. Because we would say something or describe something that is ย้อนแย้งว่าเป็นอะไรที่ Getsunova มากๆ And that's right, Getsunova is here. Actually, half of Getsunova is here today. But thank you so much for coming, guys.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดี
สวัสดีครับ
Thank you
เนม
so
และ
much
โน้ตครับ
สวัสดี
Thank you
ครับ
so much for coming to Comedy ครับ
So happy to be here.
Yeah, all right. So I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Great color. All right. So how's it going for you guys?
Yeah, it's been going okay. We've been doing a lot of touring recently. We're actually doing our third album as of now, and this year's been quite good in terms of work. We've been going to a lot of different places, and yeah, since COVID actually things have kind of picked up and kind of like going from no shows at all now like having like a good amount of shows per month, and we're kind of in the process, in the groove again.
It was a tough time, wasn't it, for like
definitely.
especially people in music industry during those 2-3 years of COVID and like you said, like no live performance. Yeah, and I'm sure it's kind of bothers you guys so much that you make music but you cannot perform live.
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
And after the COVID as well, it's not like straight after the COVID that we got a gig or concert or touring.
Yeah.
It took some time to people to get into places, into the right mindset to be out there and party and enjoying our music again.
Cool. And the reason you're here is partly because you have a new single coming out, and we'll be talking about that momentarily. So, how the other two guys are doing? So Nati and Bright, how are they?
Yeah, they're okay. I think. Did you have room for 4 people to interview?
What? Actually, yes, of course.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but we're like the main speakers of the band anyway. So one person doesn't speak at all. Nati.
He will sit here with mask on.
Yeah,
so
right. And then you have to have like subtitles because you won't be able to like understand him half the time because it's so mumbled. It's so like it's behind a mask.
Yeah.
And Pride is actually a good speaker actually, but they're okay. They're okay. We're seeing them later for a show. Actually, yeah.
Cool. So what are they up to? And you guys too. What you guys been up to?
Well,
besides music.
Besides music,
okay.
all right. So these guys have been daddy.
Yeah, I've been
recently.
Yeah, I've been. So three of us have children. So I have two children. I have my daughter's 5, and my young son is 9 months old.
9 months old.
So yeah, I've been kind of like, daddy duty. So like wake up, I drop my eldest to school, and then I come back and look after my younger one. And, I try to shuffle that.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a little bit of like help with my sister. So we run a few restaurants together.
Yeah.
My family we do S&P. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been helping my sister with her restaurant a little bit.
Wow.
Not much, but a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many things you've
also-
been keeping yourself busy.
Yeah, and also I have to have my free time where I wind down and play some games.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's probably the most important thing. Yeah.
And how about you?
I've been producing as well, like in the idol scene, kind of. So I got a boy groups called Perses that I produced for, and a single artist like Tickers, and some other bands under GMM Grammy as well.
Yeah.
So, I've been producing quite a lot recently.
Yeah, I've been talking about this with a lot of my guests actually. So they have a close relationship with some of them like parents. So of course they're taking care of the generation Alpha. And the other, like yourself, you're working with the Gen Zers a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you see different from the old days, like when you were still new in the industry? So people these days, or idol these days, how are they different, or they're still the same?
I think I think they have more energy, that's for sure. Because when it was back in our days, we were like kind of like chill out, like take it day by day. But for them, they're like have to like get things done fast as soon as possible, which is good. I mean, like we should have that back in the day.
Yeah, I can feel the fast-paced thing and like competitive vibe. Yeah.
I think also like I'm not as into the scene as him, but like I think nowadays the trend is now like there's a lot of boy bands and girl groups, and like back when we were like starting out, but this trend was gone at the time. So like now it's like more like energy, more like everyone has to like know how to dance and stuff. We didn't have to go to dance lessons to become artists, but now it's kind of like almost like compulsory in a way if you're a young you know what I mean.
Sure. And Gen Z does like the new gen, they're so talented. Like they got so much talent in one person. Because I don't know. I think because today you have to be so competitive. You need to have that, not just that one weapons, but you need to like be able to like grab everything out from your pocket, which is like amazing to me. And then to be able to see it from the far back.
Right. And how about daddies who are raising two Gen Alphas?
Right,
so what do you see in like especially your 5-year-old?
Yeah.
So she's not so little, right?
No, she's not so little anymore. Well,
she has developed her character.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I'm sure she spoke out.
I mean, she's very vocal. She likes to like she likes musicals. So I took her to so when we had a holiday in London at the beginning of the year, and I took her to see Lion King, to see like Frozen the musical, and recently there was a show Matilda the musical was in Bangkok, and most recently it was Disney on Ice, and like she loves all that kind of stuff. Like she comes home and she remembers all the songs, and like she's very vocal and she's very outspoken and she wants to like sing and dance, and she would have like these little like shows at home where she forces all the members of the family to like get in a room, and she like turn on music, turn on the lights, and then she'll have this dance routine with all this music. And it's like, okay, that was something that I would never do.
It runs in the blood.
Yeah, it runs in the family. Yeah, and you can produce for her like pretty soon.
Maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
All right, so looking back, you guys have entered the business since 2007. So 17 years. It's like a long time, like one grown-up
Ages
person.
ago.
Yeah. So looking back, I'm sure there are a lot of things happening along the way. Anything in particular stood out for you guys that is so memorable?
Well, in terms of the band, or in terms, I mean, like, well, for us, we have never changed our members. I mean, like, it's been that 4 members from the start, 2007 until now, which is rarely the case for Thai band. I mean, like, in the industry, I can put my fingers out. That's not that many bands that stick together. At least they have to change a member or two, but we are the one that stick together.
Wow. Come to think of it, it's amazing, right? Yeah, for 17 years, you guys have been together through all thick and thins, and
I guess it's
many tears.
Many tears along the way. I guess it's like more like one of the main things is like, you know, we don't really have much of a choice. Like we don't have a choice. We have to stay together kind of thing. It's like we're not like, because I think like for someone else to come into the band like halfway through and have to like be in this dynamic of the 4 of us, because the 4 of us are so different, but we've learned how to live together. We've learned how to coexist together. And for someone else to come in and like being in this environment, they'll be like, oh my God, we cannot, you know. I think like that's one of the things too, I guess.
It's the 4 character that fit really well.
Right.
I mean, not well.
Not that well.
It still exists.
Yeah, still there.
Yeah, it turns out to be a great thing. I mean, Actually, we have learned that your first 4 or 5 years, you're also still struggling. You got a lot to prove, and until the ไกลแค่ไหนคือใกล้ single that hit the spot for all the listeners, and something just clicked and changed the whole thing, whole dynamic for Get to Nova. So of course your first like super hit is ไกลแค่ไหนคือใกล้. Like looking back at that song, do you have any idea that it's going to be that hit? Like that big of a hit?
Okay, no. The answer to that question is no. But like, before we made that song, or in the process of making that song, we kind of had a talk with the band. Like, we had a really intimate talk before we released the song, and we were like, okay, if we release the song and then like it doesn't do great, I think like that could be it for us as the band. Like we were gonna like quit and like realize, okay, maybe the music industry is not for us. So we kind of had like a, what you call it, like a เดิมพัน
so it's like a big bet
it's like
for
big
you.
bet, big bet. Like, okay, this is
the
like
final ship,
the final straw. The final So kind of like, okay, and then
so all in with this.
All in, and then like but at the time as well, like I had like people say to me in the past that I wasn't a great singer. I had like a lot of criticisms and stuff, so I went and like tried to improve myself on that front. And then I went to I had singing lessons with Kru Lord, which is like, he was like the master of singing. Like he taught like Bird, he taught like everyone, and then I kind of found this kind of inner voice that I never used before to sing.
It's like the new channel.
It's like a new channel in my like, which I never used before, and then I used it on this particular song, and and then wrote the song.
I mean, I've been doing the same, like similar things as well, because I was the songwriter, and then I wasn't being taught properly by the Thai songwriter. So during his lesson, I was going around like trying to like steal all the skills from the other writers in Grammy and outside Grammy as well. And I think that's when that both things comes together coherent, and it happens to be this last song, ไกลแค่ไหนคือใกล้, that we're trying to put it out. Because the first 5 years have been really hard for us. I mean, like we were signed already to Grammy. We had all the budget, money, music video, all the famous people come and help us, and it wasn't working. And then we look back, it's probably not them, it's probably us. That's why we were like go around and okay, now we have to improve ourselves and try to find what was missing back then, and then gladly we found it.
And I'm amazed by the knowledge that I just know that, okay, you guys improve yourself, try to improve yourself like crazy, try to fix things that didn't work before, and just seek professional help. And it's amazing how Kru Rod
Yeah.
did that for you.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He
Yeah.
just brought out
I don't know how
one of the best in
Yeah,
you.
I don't know what the exact moment
Yeah.
was, but like I think it's like he brought it out of me, like
Yeah.
something I never
Yeah.
and I sing it like this to this day. Like to this
Yeah.
day, I sing using this channel in my voice, which like it's kind of become like synonymous
amazing.
with every song that I sing.
Yeah.
Like no matter whose song it is, I'll sing it, and then people will still probably recognize that it's me singing,
Yeah.
which is like kind of cool, I guess. Yeah.
So it's not just a song, but it's everything else around it too. Like you attempting to do better or to like change it up or to find new different ways that might work. So it's not just a song, it's everything of the attempts
Yes,
together.
like the whole ingredients that
Yeah.
we brought up.
And he went to Burma as well.
Oh, yeah, that's another
he went to
big part.
ไปมูมาแบบไป
ไปบอน
Oh, really?
ไปบอน
Yeah.
เนี่ยไปบอน
So whatever it takes.
So,
Yeah.
I wasn't into like all these I don't know what's in English bon, but then
Like,
I was just gonna say bon, right?
ไปบอน
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 And then what did you promise?
I wasn't into this kind of thing at all back then. But then because there was Tape Tanjai, I was like, okay, if you're that Tanjai, can you give me like one hit, like just put it on the chart, like number one, and then 6 months later it happens.
Yeah.
Wow. And of course you have to go back and get one, right?
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
and my bond was to bring the rest of the band mates to see him and why Tape Tanjai.
Yeah, so we didn't know he made this like
Yeah.
Wow.
so we just one day like okay everyone we're going to Pama.
Yeah, we have to go now. I
We're
mean,
gonna go today.
because right then when it got famous and it got on number one chart or like many charts, I didn't think it was about Bon because and then all the shit things happens to our tour like
Yeah.
like the mixing board like got shut down, people got car crash like
Yeah.
during the tour.
Right.
So that pops into mind like hey we have this Bon thing, we have to bring
We have to
my
go.
friends
Okay.
back and
And
after that
resolve it.
yeah,
Fine,
we solved
it's
it.
fine. Yeah.
And after that, it's been like for us, like skyrocket.
I mean, who would know?
Yeah,
who would know?
Yeah.
Like, and who's to say that this has nothing to do with anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have about like 5 or 6 100 million views
yeah.
songs on YouTube, and all of that. I have the story for this one.
Wow.
in Burma.
Like they said, all the stars align one day, and it takes a lot of stars, like many stars. Like,
yeah.
okay, your singing lesson, you're like stealing tactics from other people, and
Yeah.
the song itself, and then the bone, and who knows
Yeah,
what
who
else?
knows, yeah.
So these guys didn't have it easy, not at all,
at
because a
all.
lot of people might have that idea that you came from a rich family and you didn't have to struggle. You had like no burdens, any other burdens. So you have maybe like a lot of resources that you can just pull from. But it's not that easy. It's never that easy, right?
Like people, I mean, people would bring that up, but like actually, it's not like being a successful or having a successful song in the music industry doesn't having all the money in the world doesn't help you to have a hit song at all. Like it takes like
You can't
like I
buy
said,
that with money.
You can't buy fame with money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can nowadays, but maybe you can. Actually, you can.
Boost หน่อย
ต่อมา You probably can, but
Well, yeah.
we didn't buy it with our money. So we had to suffer. We had to be patient. We had to be passionate. We had to have dedication. We had to it doesn't help. Whatever we had that other people maybe didn't help us with the music industry at all.
Yeah. I've already learned a very valuable lesson. Is that dedication, right? And it's like commitment, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Just go all out
Yeah.
and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it turned out great.
Yeah.
Wow, that is super amazing. So this song happens to catch the public's attention of how you use the oxymoron. Like
Yes.
I mentioned at the start of the show
opening, yeah.
that okay, this has maybe never been done. So much in like music or Thai song before.
Not
and
in
then,
music.
Yeah,
Not in
people
music.
took notice of that, and it was like it had become your signature somehow. Yeah, and you repeated that
a lot
like crazy.
all the time.
Yeah, so for example you have แตกต่างเหมือนกัน right you have ความเงียบที่ดังที่สุด or what else ความรู้สึกที่ไม่เคยรู้สึกเหตุผลที่ไม่มีเหตุผล a lot
Yeah.
but it's like it
try
works
to
every time
We try to implement that to people's
Yeah.
brains that hey this is our slogan.
Yeah, and it could be viewed like two different ways, like totally. It could be like, oh, these guys are smart because they know what's good for them, what works for them, and then they repeat it. But other people may be like, หมดมุกแล้วเหรอ You keep using the old stuff. Like, how about be more innovative or something? Yeah. So have you had any kind of like feedbacks coming back to you?
No, actually, we were told to stop on the third single already, which is คำถามซึ่งหลายคนตอบ We were told to stop by our producer พี่พล Clash but then I don't know but at some point in the end I think the public kind of wants it and then back then we kept going.
Okay, but you kind of did you fight back with Pipon when he said, oh, maybe enough of that, guys?
It wasn't like a proper fight back. It was more like a discussion with the labor as well. Because obviously Pipon is one leg and we have the labor as well.
Okay.
So Pi An, Dakpa back then in the labor. So yeah, it was more like a discussion if we should carry it on or not. And then the fourth one we kind of stopped. And it comes back around ความเงียบดังที่สุด which is like six or seven singles. Yeah.
Okay.
Like along the way, like when once we stop doing it, then we'll get people in like, especially in the social media, was like, why is it not an oxymoron now? Kind of thing, you know, and
Continue with the tradition.
Yeah.
This is not Casanova.
Yeah, it's not Casanova.
It's supposed to be this. We have like one หมดอายุใช่ไหม People like expiry date. They come and like rename it. Like it has to be like one หมดอายุที่ไม่หมดอายุ or something. All the comments would go up like that. Then we felt okay. There has to be some balance.
Right. And your latest single, of course, is
let him say it. It's really long.
It's a long one too.
Yeah, it's the longest one.
It's the longest one.
Okay.
So ไม่ต้องมีที่ให้ฉันอยู่แต่ขอแค่มีฉันอยู่ก็พอ
Yeah. Okay. This sounds right. This is Casanova original, right? Okay. So, what gave you the idea of writing this song?
This whole sentence is actually from Piname in one of the interviews. He just said it out.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it.
And
It's
you
like,
caught that.
Yeah.
That's work.
And I mean, at the end of that sentence, we felt like, hey, that could be a song.
Yeah.
In the middle of the interview, and then
What was the question that prompted you to answer this?
So the question was, it's actually talking about our positioning in the music industry in the current times.
Yeah.
Because like, you know how like 10 years ago we used to be the big shit, you know, like we used to be like the shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if we can say that. We
We
used to be
can,
like,
we can, yes.
we used to be like, wow, like everything's like going well for us. Like we have so many hit singles. Every time we release songs, like it always become big hits, like you know. But now as times go by and as like the decades go by, like obviously like we're not getting any younger. We're not you know, the trend of the songs in Thailand and trend of music kind of changes all the time, and like so like the question was like, where do you see yourself in this music industry? So I said like, okay, we're not like the big like young teen idols or like you know
the trendy one.
trendy ones like Bill Ginn, Three Men Down, like all these like
It's that time.
It's their time.
yeah, it's their time.
Yeah,
and
it's
we're
their
not
time.
like big legendary bands like Body Slam, Potato, Big Ass. We're not like that. So it was somewhere in between. So I kind of said like, you know what, like we're happy to ก็คือไม่ต้องมีที่ให้อยู่หรอกแต่แค่แบบมีเราอยู่ในวงการเนี้ยก็พออะไรประมาณเนี้ย you know what I mean? So you know you don't have to be put anywhere, but just we're happy to just have a space in this whole industry.
Okay. Maybe not a specific spot that you need to be at, but just
we're still here,
us
you know?
existing
yeah,
here.
we're still here, and we're happy to still be, you know, be wherever you want to put us, basically.
Right. Whenever you want us to come out and you know perform your song, we'll be there for you.
Yeah.
We don't have to be like on the top of the chart or in the stadium sold out show.
But we want to be. We
Yeah.
still want to be.
We would love to.
I was
but,
gonna say
yeah.
but that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Like any days.
No, yeah, maybe it's like it's a hint, like okay, maybe like it's like a hint, like เคยมีใครมีอยากจ้างไปเล่นอะไรอย่างงี้
Yeah, and once that sentence came out of Name's mouth, what did you do? What was the next step that you take after thinking, oh, this could be a song?
I mean, I shot it down on my phone straight away for sure, but then it took a few months,
Yeah.
to come back with the demo. Like, hey, I actually took that idea and
Yeah.
develop it to this
Right.
song. Well, what you reckon? And then
Wow.
when he sang it out, it sounds really, really good, and we see the potential on this
Yeah.
particular track.
By the way, Getsu Nova, your band's name, even though it's not an oxymoron, but it's like the combination of two words
Yeah.
together too, like
Yeah.
Getsu.
Getsu like okay, it's like so getsu comes from the word getsuga tensho. Getsuga tensho, if there's any fans of anime here,
Yeah.
that was a cartoon at the time that I really liked called Bleach, and it's like the finishing move of the main character, and he would shout like getsuga tensho, and like swings a sword, and it's like a moon wave to kill his enemies or whatever.
Right.
So I like that word, and then I like Supernova because I really like Oasis. So I really love the song Champagne Supernova. So I kind of like just had a vision, like I had
Yeah.
enlightenment one day when I was sitting somewhere and it's like, oh, okay, let's get Sonova.
Yeah.
At least it's a made up word, and it's two words from two different languages.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's not really a word, but it kind of is. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. That what makes it special.
Yeah.
Like you always have story to tell. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is how I came up with the name of the,
And like
of
no
the
one would
band.
ever like name anything else get
Yeah.
Sonova. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you type in Google
For good reason.
For good reason. Yeah, no one like okay, get Sonova pizza. You know, there would be something like that. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So speaking of oxymorons and names or words, that is interesting. So I've got some more oxymorons here in my hand. So I want you guys to take a look at them and pick like 3 or 4 oxymorons that you like, and maybe we can talk about that and possibly potentially see if this could be your next single.
Yeah, we could get another single of
Yeah.
this interview.
Yeah, we
So
could.
the whole album is going to be like about interviews. That could be the title. So we got the first track already. This could be the second single.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like materials. Okay. So let's take a look at them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you have it.
We're gonna choose, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one we already have this song.
Oh, yeah. I love
We already
together.
have this song.
โดดเดี่ยวด้วยกัน
โดดเดี่ยว
So
ด้วย
it
กัน
has alone together.
Okay. All right.
Love hate relationship. I like that.
Hopefully good. Disgustingly
Hopefully.
delicious.
Bitter
is
bitter
nice.
sweet. Okay. Pretty
Pretty
ugly.
ugly.
I like this.
And then it goes-
This sounds very gets over.
I like this one, but it's not. I like this one. Living Dead. Zombie.
Zombie. Yeah.
Organized chaos.
So we have to pick 3. You would
Yeah.
say.
3 or 4,
or
right?
4.
3
Yeah.
or 4. Okay. Open secret. What's that?
Deafening silence. It's like absolute
Deafening.
silence, right? It's not.
Yeah. It's
It's
so
like-
quiet.
it's-
You feel like you go deaf.
Yeah.
Right.
Because deafening is so loud that you feel
Deafening
like
is
you're
loud,
deaf.
yeah, yeah.
It's so loud that it goes silent.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what did you pick?
Okay.
I like that one.
On yeah. This one. I'll pick this one.
Okay, you guys got it?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we got
All
it.
right. So let's see what you have, what you picked out.
Okay, I like the deafening silence.
Deafening silence. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about what it means. So silence means like no sounds at all. But deafening, usually we use with something that is so loud, like explosion, right? And kind of make us go deaf, right? So deafening silence, really interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that if that was a song, it could be like when you're in the argument, when you're with your wife or girlfriend, like she's saying shit to you so much, and then you kind of like
Lock it out.
you can't hear it anymore. 'cause
Tuning
that's-
out now.
Yeah, there's so many-
Zone out.
Yeah, you zone out.
Yeah.
There's so many issues.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they want to talk to you, and then you
Yeah.
just don't want to
Yeah.
listen to it anymore. You blocked it out.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
that
people
would
can,
touch
That's
you
me.
quite
That,
well.
yeah. yeah.
yeah, people can totally relate to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. Something that is so loud that you want to just block out.
Yeah.
What would it be in Thai though? I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
ภาษาไทย
ภาษาไทย
What does
ครับ
mean
หูมันต้องบอกว่าต้อง
like
เงียบจนหูดับอย่างนี้เหรอ
เอ้ย
เฮ้ย
ก็เท่นะ
หูดับ
เงียบจนหูดังจนหู
หรือดังจนหูดับ
ดังจนหูดับโอ้
Actually, that's happened to me a lot during our shows. So sometimes like I turn the volume in my ear monitor so loud, and then when it's so loud that I can't,
You can't hear
my
it.
ear becomes deaf.
Yeah.
One ear like completely
Right.
like gone.
Yeah, you learn that
Deaf
from your
being
wife.
silence. or maybe it's like silence says a lot about a person. Like when you ask a question and they say silent, and that's so loud.
Yep.
Because
Ah.
the answer is so obvious. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. This might potentially be the next song from Get
Could
to
be,
Know
man.
More. Who knows?
Possibly.
It's nice.
Yeah. All right. So, name what do you got?
I just like this word, living dead.
Living
'Cause
dead?
I have a fascination with zombies. You know,
Ooh.
like I love zombies. And like
right.
and for this kind of applies to me a lot of times as well during my life nowadays. Like so on the nights I go out drinking a lot, like go out like wild party, and then the next day I become a living
dead.
because I don't function. You know, like I have to
Yeah.
function, but I'm not really there. But I have to. I'm kind of there, but I'm not all there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, this is me after a night out. I'm a living dead. Yeah.
Because
And have you-
if you see this gentleman like sitting right here, he's not that gentle when he's like for the record. How's your bruise on your
Oh
forehead?
yeah, I had an
he still
accident.
he
Yeah.
still have some bruises like he's like teenagers.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
like at one day in Phuket we were still like, hey, what happened to your hair? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I was drinking last night.
I
That's so casual.
I blacked out and I just
Yeah.
walked into a door, or I fell down in the bath. I don't even remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, at home as well. I wasn't
Yeah.
going out. I was just drinking at home.
All right. So you might have the living dead experience. And how about you? Have you ever
Me?
had any living dead moment?
Not really. I'm pretty alive most of the time. But, I might
Yeah.
try. I might try that again tonight, perhaps.
Okay, but if this is to turn into a song, what do you think the story might go? How the story might go?
I can translate that straight away. That
Yeah.
ตายทั้งเป็น
ตายทั้งเป็น
And we have that phrase.
Right. Ben, yes,
Right.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like he said, we're gonna do a metal song. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna do a fast song.
It has to be heavy stuff.
All
living
right.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can I see the next one from Not?
Okay. Agree to disagree. I think that goes quite well with our band.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
Like how the four of us in the band members are coexisting. We kind
Ah,
of
of
like
course.
agree to disagree
Yeah.
most of the time. That's how we got by.
Yeah.
Whenever we have like different opinion, we kind of not like try to change the other person to be in the same page, on the same page
Yeah.
with one another. But then we kind of like, okay, we can agree on that and then just carry on with
Yeah.
how we are.
I see.
With every aspects of like our lives together, like when we go on tour, and we're like, oh, someone might say, oh, let's have some tam today, like and so I'm like, got that, like maybe you don't want it that much, but like okay, whatever, kind of
Yeah.
like
And then go straight to some place and try to order something like completely different, like chicken wings instead.
Yeah.
You have chicken wings, and then it's not all the somtam place out
Yeah.
there in the country would have
Yeah,
chicken
yeah,
wings all
yeah.
the time. But
Okay.
yeah.
So I was curious. Most of the time, when how the songwriters works, is it trying to turn any concept or ideas that you like into like romantic situation so people can relate better, or it's not always the case?
Oh yes, I mean it's always the case
Yeah.
for me at least. Because from my perspective, it's more like a songwriter for other people to sing. So I'm not trying to put myself into the story as much. And most of the time, it's not about love story, and then I turn it into like a relationship.
Yeah.
My favorite one is อยู่ตรงนี้นานกว่านี้ That was about Sir Alex Ferguson, the Manchester United manager, and then that was for Nati, the other guitarist.
He's a Man U supporter.
He's a Man U fan,
one.
and when I see him like Sir Alex was about to leave Man U, I was like, he's been there for ages already. Look at him, he's so old, and he got you like so many trophies already. Why are you still like begging him to stay another year? And you know already, if not this year, it's gonna be next year anyway that he's gonna leave you.
Yeah.
So I came up with that. You don't need
So the
stay
song
here.
is
Turn into a love song.
Yeah.
inspired by Sir Alex Ferguson.
Wow, that's
and that relationship is probably even stronger than other love
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
Even like
yeah.
the football spirit there.
right.
It's crazy. So yeah,
Okay.
that's my favorite one.
Wow. See any potential of the next song's material?
we have to discuss on the copyright if we're gonna write one of that. Would you like come and take
Wow.
a piece of that? No, because this has been recorded.
Wow. Okay, that would be so amazing to say, to see. By the way. Okay, so I ask this with all my guests. Of course, our show is called Community. So we're big on words, you know. So I was wondering if you guys have any favorite words of yours, like words that is so meaningful to you, or your catchphrase, or any names that you like, silly words. It could be anything. Yeah.
Well, I said already, I like the word supernova. I don't know. If that's
Supernova.
like,
Okay.
you know.
So why do you like it so much? Like
Because
big explosion.
yeah, it's a big explosion in the galaxy. It's like a big it's a explosion in the stars, and like it's
Yeah.
like a massive, beyond your wildest dreams kind of explosion, kind of feeling like, oh my god, this is like beyond everything.
Yeah.
It's like
I can see how you like it. Like big things that happen and change everything.
yeah.
And
I go
do you have any
I'll go completely the other way. I just like the
okay.
word crisps.
Crisps.
That's all.
crisps?
Yeah, I just like to say it when people say it in English. That's
Like
Crisps?
crisps.
Yeah, crisps.
Okay.
Crisp,
like chips.
chips,
Yeah,
crisps,
like-
chips.
I just like that word. I don't know why.
Yeah. But-
Every time people say that, I was like,
Yeah.
that makes
so,
me
so
happy.
is it the British version of like chips?
Chips, yeah,
Yeah,
right,
the British
yeah.
version.
But you call it?
Yeah, crisps.
Crisps.
I can't say it anymore.
Crisps.
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 It's
Very
really
hard
hard
to
to
say.
say.
Yes,
and
crisps.
and when I study in England, that's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
my
yeah.
struggling word to
Yeah.
like, hey, can I have some crisps? And then it's just- they never get that. They just always look at me like that. That's how I like it so much. So when you say like, if you want any favorite word, that's my
Yeah.
favorite one.
Wow.
And I still can't nail it.
I really like
It's
it.
actually a pretty
Crisp.
hard one to
It's a
nail
really
down,
hard
actually,
one.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So the last words or the last message today that you want to say to your fans?
Well, we have a really strong core like fan base that's been with us like through thick and thin since we were like struggling up until now, and like we just like to say like thank you so much for sticking with us, and like for just having like always supporting us in whatever we do, whether it's in our music or in our daily lives or in our family life, like in our own lifestyle. Like they will always support us like with whatever we do, and like I'd like to say like thank you for being here. Like without them, like sometimes we'd have a show and like not many people would like be interested in us, but when we look beyond all the crowd and see that one person or this group of fans who are always there for us, it gives us so much energy. And like not just our old fans but like our new fans as well, like whoever like comes and like really like appreciates us and like sings along to our songs, like that vision, that moment is like so priceless to us, and like that's what keeps driving us to still be here and still try to make new songs for them, for everyone. Thank you so much.
I think for me, like the other group, like the non-supporter one. I mean, like the one that been listening to our song
Yeah.
and then haven't seen us around recently. I just want to tell them that we're still here in the industry and we're still making music. I got so many questions, like people like, hey, you like stop releasing new tracks already, or like like you like gone back to your family business or something. We just want to telling them that we're still here, and then we got a lot more on the way just to release all the new songs to you guys, and we're looking forward to this next journey that we have.
So ไม่ต้องมีที่ให้ฉันอยู่แต่ขอแค่มีฉันอยู่ก็พอ The new single is out from Get to Nova. Just go stream. And actually there's an English title for this song too, which
Yeah.
is
spaceless
is so short
it's a shorter one it might be easier to refer it to spaceless as well
okay I'm sure people will love it and thank you so much for coming to Comedy today
thank you so much for having us
thank you ครับ
Candy Game Night Live on Stage ครั้งแรกที่คำดีจะชวนคุณผู้ชมมาเล่นเกมกันมีของรางวัลแจกด้วยนะศุกร์ที่ 21 มิถุนายนนี้ 6 โมงเย็นเป็นต้นไปที่สยามพารากอนลงทะเบียนร่วมงานฟรีที่นั่งจำกัดนะครับใครอยากเล่นเกมกับเราสดๆไม่ว่าจะเป็นการดวลทายศัพท์หรือว่าดวลการรายทำตามนี้เลยเข้าไปกรอกรายละเอียดในลิงก์ซิปอีเวนท์ที่เราแนบเอาไว้ข้างใต้นี้พร้อมกับคลิปที่คุณถ่ายเอง1 นาทีประมาณนี้
My name is Jitway. I'm a video editor of the Standard Candy. Let me show you how I rap. ไป go slow ช้ามาคำดำ back.
Introduce yourself in English 30 seconds และโชว์ทักษะการรายอีก 30 วินาทีลงทะเบียนสมัครได้ตั้งแต่วันนี้ประกาศรายชื่อผู้ได้รับการคัดเลือกศุกร์ที่ 14 มิถุนายนหรือถ้าเกิดใครอยากมานั่งดูนั่งเชียร์เฉยๆแต่ไม่เล่นก็ได้เช่นกันครับลงทะเบียนได้ที่ลิงก์เดียวกันนี้ได้เลย Candy Game Night Live on Stage Play your way to better English ศุกร์ที่ 21 มิถุนายน 2567 6 โมงเย็นเป็นต้นไปสยามพารากอนชั้น 4 ลาน SCBX Next Stage มาเจอกันมาเล่นกัน